It's a great day to be a Unitarian Universalist. Huh? I see some smiles. I was worried there, y'all. So serious. Today would have been 88 years old, Elvis Presley. Gotta pay homage to the king. Well, anyway. When I was doing a mission project, you learn about the different cultures. Other people believe differently than I believed. I found that out. I'm on a project. I'm driving the truck. We got a lot to do, and we're up in the northern section of Laos. And we hired some of the local people, and we're getting this project done. And as I'm driving, they knocked on the hood of the truck and said, "You got to stop. You have to stop." Why do I have to stop? Because you have to pick the monk up. Pick the monk up. There was a man in orange with a bald head walking along the road. So I said, "Well, let's pick up the monk then, if we have to pick up the monk." And they all get out of the truck, and he got the place of honor. Did we cut out? No, we're all right. He had the place of honor, sitting right next to what do they call that? Shotgun. Oh, okay. There you go. Marla. Ask Marla. And we didn't understand each other. He and me, and no words. Couldn't communicate. Finally, I got a knock on the top of the truck and said, "Now you have to stop." Stop. Okay. You got to let him out. Okay. He gets out. And the rest of the people are there. They were in the back of the truck. But they're not getting back in the truck. I said, "Well, come on, we got to go." No. You have to get out of the truck. And you have to go over to him. And you have to kneel in front of him. I have to kneel in front of him. Yeah, your head has to be lower than his so that he can give you a blessing. Give me a blessing. Yeah. But before that, you have to thank him. I have to thank him? For what? Because he allowed you to help him. He allowed me to help him. And you also, after you get the blessing, you have to give him some money. I said, but wait a minute, what's wrong with this picture? I'll tell you what was wrong with the picture. It was the way I was thinking. That in their way of Buddhism, it is a joy to give. It's a joy to help. It's a joy to have the opportunity. And he gave that to me. And he gave me the blessing, and I gave him his money. And all of the people they were all Buddhists. And everybody had big smiles on their face. Except me. I said, but then I learned. I said, wait. Maybe there's another way. Maybe I learned something right there. I'd never had that experience before. Of course, I don't pick up hitchhikers. I certainly don't get into that position where I should be grateful that I had the opportunity to be helpful to somebody. That was new to me. And I'm very grateful for that. And so that's why that was a good experience for me. When I was a student at seminary, the professors would come at you with all these questions. Jack, who are the minor prophets? Now everybody's in the class. I had no idea who they were. So I said, who am I to judge? Well, it's a mouthpiece for God, these prophets. And I want to prophetize all of you today. I want you to help me as I help you to see a new world, a new creation, a new life. There's a lot of Old Testament things that they don't mesh up, but you got the Isaiah and Jeremiah and Amos and Micah, and there's lots of them, maybe more. The prophets call out a society in the ways in which things are dealt with and worshiped and often more than anybody else. We worship different things. We worship money. We worship power. We worship safety. We worship strength. And the prophets repudiate that work, as well as denouncing arrogant boasting and haughty pride. The king that ruled the nation in anger, the oppressors, the destroyer of nations, to inflict waste and ruin and death. The theory is that might makes right. Well, I'm here to maybe remind you that right makes might, and the sword is an abomination. Violence is obscene, and the sword, they say, shall be destroyed. In other words, the prophets reminded Israel and reminds us of where true authority lies and what would be valued above all else. Well, amid all those admonitions about you should do this and you should do that, the one thing that the prophets ask for is that they ask for you to hope. We are creating a new peace, and we are creating a new earth. Oh, yes, we are. No more sounds of weeping, no more cries of anguish. They'll plant fields and eat what they grow. No more building a house that some enemy takes over. No more people who are robbed of their own harvest when they plant. And children and grandchildren will be blessed. No more of all of the drama and psychosis of hurting other people just for the sake of taking what is theirs. A reminder, a vision of peace, a vision of health, a vision of longevity, a vision of something we've never seen before. So hearing this, I mean, let's be serious. Many of us don't feel like we're anywhere close to a new world or a new life, anywhere close to where the lion sits with the lamb and gets along, not anywhere close to peace. And this vision might feel just so far away. But in a culture that's suddenly confused by its vision for the future, I ask us to consider what is more needed right now than people who remember such vision. What is more needed right now than people who will not give up on the greater hope of all of creation. I still have hope. I have hope that this can turn itself around. What is more needed than for a community of people like the Unitarian Universalists? I'm having trouble with saying UUs. I don't like it, but I'm going to try. I understand the abbreviation, but I love to say Unitarian Universalists. I think it's a great thing. To risk yourself in service to the outsider, to the marginalized, to the forgotten. What's more needed than a community that understands the sorrow of pain, always giving way to the joy of the seven principles? What's more needed? I'm thinking now in the aftermath of the historic election. 15 times they took to elect that guy as speaker. The angry and hateful rhetoric that has shown up in the actions of the representatives themselves. Doesn't matter what party they're from. Do you think that any of these people care about you? Do you think that any of them are really there to serve? No, they're not. And that's got to change. We have to make them see that they have to change that. I was appalled. Just appalled this week. Like, wait a minute. Finish it. Come on. For many years, look what happened. Over 200 plus instances of hate crimes are happening. Not in other realms, right here in America. Just outside this place here, some hate groups are spraying SWAT stickers again all over buildings. They're doing that. And that's happening in Washington, in Philadelphia, and happening in way too many places to name. I mean, there are people that today deny climate change. It just boggles the mind. And young Muslim women are being assaulted. Young Asian women are being assaulted right here in California, Louisiana. I was reading some of the places. But outside, there's something happening because now, as someone said, this behavior is okay, they say. We now live in a different America. Really? Except for one thing. Remember the truth. Here. We don't live in a place of hatred or despair or greed or violence or misogyny. We don't live like that. Nope. We don't live in that America. We live in an America that honors the Constitution and protects all people, even those that are on the marginalized fringe, and those who do not feel they have a voice. You see, that's the America that I grew up in, and I'm fighting for, and I know you are too. And to all of you, I don't really care who you voted for, ever. I care who I vote for. That's the great thing about this country. But you voted for whoever you voted for whatever reasons you voted for them. And we love you for that. We love you. There's always a place for you and all people in this church family. And this family is not Democrat or Republican or Green or Libertarian or you name it. We're all in. And we'll stand by our commitment to making this place, no matter who you voted for, you are welcome here. And no matter who you voted for, I'm going to assume you had your reasons. But we also know that people have said, well, that's my mandate. That's my mandate for a divisive country. Because I want them to build a wall and keep people out in Mexico. Let them pay for the wall. I want people to know that laziness is a trait that black people have. It really is something they can't control. And others have said, when Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems. They're bringing us problems. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. Or how about this one from the KKK newspaper? I read all this stuff. While we want to make America great again, we have to ask ourselves what made America great in the first place. Well, the answer to that, the fellow who's writing said, is simple. America's not great because of what our forefathers did, but because of who our forefathers were. America was founded as a white Christian republic. And as a white Christian republic, it became great. That's what he wrote. And that vision of the world, that vision of America, is one that I refuse to live in. I'm never going to give in to that. And I hope you will join me in that refusal. In God's world, we see a future that is not about fear and about hatred, but is about peace and love. We see a vision of this. It's this hopeful imagination that Unitarian Universalists, people of faith, they don't anticipate destruction. They anticipate deliverance. In the hopeful imagination that Unitarian Universalists do not look forward to the end of the world, but the end of a world. You see, if we know where we're going, we can get through anything. So here's what we're going to do. at least while I'm the minister here, we're going to do this. We're going to be fiercely committed to loving each other. We're going to be fiercely committed to loving our Muslim and immigrant brothers and sisters, and we're going to stop using the phrase illegal aliens. Can't stand that. They are undocumented immigrants. We're going to be fiercely committed to protecting the rights of same-sex couples and transgender individuals, offering a safe place in this house for anyone who needs it. And we're going to keep our eyes open for any signs of hate in the community as we call it out and fight it. More than that, we're going to keep our eyes open for the ways we can spread love. Whether it's a simple act of kindness, maybe at the grocery store or the street, and starting new initiatives here at church. What's this church like? People would ask. I've been asked that so many times. I've had people say, and people have nothing to do with this church. Why would a Christian minister want to be the pastor of a Unitarian Universalist church? Because it's great. They bristle. Because it's doing what has to be done. See, that's the thing. We don't live in that world, in that America of divisiveness. We live in a world that's full of love and beauty and hope. Don't mind me. The Almighty is calling. Might be. Oh my gosh! Can you believe that? It's my cleaning lady. She wants to know when she could come. I'm not kidding you. Oh, all right. We don't live in that America. This is a world filled with people who are ready to devote themselves to kindness, to justice, so that one day we might see that new creation. Oh yeah, a new earth. I mean, who's leading us there? Although we may not feel like it, Unitarians are leading us there. I mean, it's a fight. You know, Dr. King said, if you want a better world, if you want to have the world in the way that it could be, you got to fight for that. You don't just get it. If you want to keep the 7 principles, you have to fight for that. That's just a reality. And you will. Oh, yeah, you will. We want to see a new creation and a new earth. Unitarians, let me assure you, are once again, they're on the march. And you're not alone. We might feel like we're alone, but we're not. So in the days and weeks to come, let us take time to figure out how we are going to be the beacon of hope in the community. How can we spread this love? Well, I just had Sandy give me her life supply of safety pins. And I put one on, and I'm asking you to put one on. And after Britain decided to leave the European Union, people wanted Muslims and immigrants to know that they supported them. And so they wore this safety pin, see, on their lapel. A sign that says, "You're safe with me," spreading throughout our country too. We have treated these people like they're sub-creatures. I mean, who are we to do that? What arrogance. It's the worst thing I've ever seen, and it's the worst part of people that I see coming out in them, that it's an us and them world. It's not. So this helps people. And you never know. You never know who will see it. To know that you're their ally. To take your own safety pin and worship outside of the sanctuary and wear it so people will know that you are an ally, a friend, a helper. Wear it in the park, wear it at work, wear it at the grocery store. It might seem small, and it is, but you never know who will need it or need you. So for that, I thank you, Marla, for all you do for those people who are desperately, desperately trying to have a better life. That's really what's happening there. And it's horrific, the stories of them coming here by boat. And we're talking the danger of their lives against the government, you name it. I mean, it just goes on and on. Oh, now some people started to criticize the gesture of the pins. Well, I heard some people criticize it, but it's something. We've got to do something. We've got to care. Unitarian Universalists are famous for that. And one time I sat down with some clergy, and we wrote a letter together to candidates, all the candidates, not just one candidate. And we asked them to stop the hateful rhetoric, stop doing that. We weren't saying that they should drop out of the race or weren't affirming who they were. All we said in our communication was, for one candidate over the other, we're just asking for the meanness to stop. Stop the meanness. And I remember thinking to myself, whoever wins, the church is going to have a lot of work to do. And we do. We have a lot of work to do. And today, we are stewards. We're stewards in which we recommit ourselves to the work of the church. The word stewardship means that for that which you've been made responsible, it can be of the earth, it can be stewardship of resources, it can be stewardship of property, it can be stewardship of health. Stewardship is taking care of that which we have been made responsible. And so the question begs to be asked, what are we responsible for? And my answer to that would be, it's for one another. I think you would agree with me. Our responsibility is that kind of a world that we want to create. We are stewards of our culture and of our community. Those people way up there in Laos taught me a great lesson. That's our culture. The Buddhist culture. I had no idea what that was all about till that point. And we're responsible for this church. I'm amazed at how you're keeping things together. You're so committed. So you make me want to be committed. I mean, you work hard to keep this church not only going, but to keep it strong, to provide a space to remember who we are, a responsibility to each other. Walter Brueggemann once said that the prophetic task of the church is to tell the truth in a society that lives in illusion, grieve in a society that practices denial, and express hope in a society that lives in despair. That's what your responsibilities are, and mine too. May we have the courage to tell the truth. Where is he? There he is. Tell the truth, he said, otherwise they'll catch you in a lie. I never will forget that advice, as long as I live. Don't be afraid of your pain and your tears. I mean, I grieve when I see the way we treat other people. I can't believe that that's the world we've created. How did it get like that? But how can we change it? And even though others talk about despair, may we hope. It's something beyond our own time, and for that new life and that new earth. There's a phrase that, be not afraid, I go before you always. Come follow me, and I will give you rest. Number one.
See, we will create a new heaven and a new day here on earth in Ukraine.
Russia will not be remembered, and neither will Vladimir Putin come to mind. But be glad and rejoice forever in what is created.
Great.
Before they created Ukraine to be his right, his people rejoiced. We will rejoice over the courage and take delight in all the people. The sound of the weeping and of crying will be heard in it no more. Never again will there be an infant who lives but a few days because the surgeons have no electricity.
Poor.
Or an old man who does not live out his years. The one who dies at 100 will be thought to be a mere child. The one who fails to reach 100 will be considered Russian.
5.
Ukrainians will build houses to dwell in them. They will plant vineyards and eat their fruit. No longer will they build houses and others just to take those houses, or plant food and Russians just take that too.
Number 6.
For in the days of the tree, so will be the days of the Ukrainian people. The chosen ones will long enjoy the work of their hands. They will not labor in vain, nor will they bear children doomed to misfortune. But they will be a people of resolve.
7.
The wolf and the lamb will feed together, and the lion will eat straw like the ox, and dust will be the food of their Russian neighbors.
8.
Never again will Russians harm or destroy any of Ukrainian sacred land. Thus saith all Unitarian Universalists.
Amen. Amen. Amen.